Okay. With Pente, we need to go to the Pente game board and start making variables about the game. So, we should make some variables like I'm gonna make an int for, um, like, let me see. Um, so I'm gonna make an int for player turn. Okay, and we have to decide. Let me see. Let's just do that. Let's just put that there for that, and then I guess what we need to do is make some public static variables here, and um, and that's going to equal 1 for the player 1 turn, and then the other player turn, the player 2, is going to be -1 because it's easier to flip the turns just by multiplying by -1. Okay, so and then I think generally player 1 is considered to be the dark stone. And if we want to have that all the time, that's good. We should also have a Boolean that shows player 1 is the computer. I don't know. And that should be like false. I think that can be false automatically. And the same thing with player 2 is computer. Okay. It'd also be great to know like player 1's name. You could do stuff like that. So you can make 2 strings for that. And that would be great. And what else do we need to know? I think it's okay. I think if whoever player 1 is, I think right for right now it could be assumed to be the Darkstone. Okay, so so you might make a note of that. Like here maybe. Something like that. Okay. And then we're gonna have to get some capabilities for moving and things like that. Okay. But with that, we're going to move on and have like a reset of the game. Okay. So here after paint component, I would make something to clear the board. Okay. Okay. So like in my program, I have something that allows you to resize the board because I was working on it last week. So what I have is I have a routine called update sizes, and that thing calls reset squares, which this does this. So what happens is when it's time to paint the board, I kind of figure out what the frame size is, and I kind of update all the sizes of the squares and stuff like that. I don't think you need to do that. So this is, this is extra. But what we do need to do is we need to make a method, like an undoing is right underneath paint component, called public void reset board, or maybe yeah, reset board. Let's do that. Okay, so reset board would just do this, and it would just turn everything into, it would just empty the board. Okay, so that would be an easy one to write. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the two loops that we use to run through the rows and columns, right? And we're going to go game row column, and we have a set state, right? I think it's called set state. Yeah, set state, and we're going to use the state that is empty. Okay, so what would happen to use this is when I call this up, like right now when I run this, I got this thing going on here where all the boards look like this, or I have black and white, or dark light going on for the squares. And if I just go here, and this is where this happens. Okay, if I go to the end of this routine now, and I set reset board, it should clear the board now. So we'll see. See, it's totally clear. Okay, that's good, right? Okay. So that's sort of a good thing that would go along with this. But what I want to do is I want to make something that would start the game too. Okay. So I'm gonna make a routine called start game, and start game is gonna call the reset board. Okay. So let's see. I have reset board right here. Okay. So I'm gonna make a method called start game. Public void. Maybe we'll call it like start new game, something like that. Okay. So I'd have to say start new game, like that. Okay. And what start new game would do is it would first call like reset board and then go get information. Okay. And then it's got to get information on these like player 1 and player 2 and stuff like that. Okay. And you could go something like this. You could say, you could use, so then what I guess I would do is I would, we have two variables, p1 name and p2 name. And I think we could use like J option pane. And what we're going to do is do like the show input dialog. And that's fine. Okay, so we would say player 1 or type, C for computer, something like that. Okay. And that would load the player 1 name, right? And then what you could do is you could check the player 1 name, and you could say if p1 name, and with strings you can't actually do this, like in Python or whatever, maybe you can do this. C. You have to do this here. You have to use a function that comes with strings called equals. So you could say if it equals C, right? Or then you could make it bigger than just C. You could say or this equals like I'll put this in quotes now. Computer, right? Or like computer, something like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set that variable that we made before up above, and we're going to say player one is computer. We're going to set that equal to true. Something like that. Okay. And then we would do the same thing for player 2. And basically follow the same policy for that. And this will get us going. Okay. We could check to see if you could have only one computer or something like that. I'm going to let that go for right now. And then what we want to do is basically run the turn, right? And let me see. So that's good. And then what I want to do is get let me see. We have to set the first stone to be black in the middle of the board. Okay. So you would go something like this. You would say, this is a kind of a formal way to do it, but we could go player turn. Okay. We'd say player turn equals I think it's like player 1, right? Yeah, something like that. Okay. And we could do this for the board. We could go it's game board. And then we could go, let's see if this works for us. Number square size divided by 2. This divided by 2. And this divided by 2. Because you don't know how many sides the squares are. Like that. And then we're going to say number squares inside divided by 2. Number squares divided by 2 is going to set state to the blackstone. Okay, so that would be good if it works. And let's see what happens. Okay, and I think I'm calling it in a weird place too. And then we have to change the turn, and we'll get into that in a second. So I'm going to say, Joe and Annie, and there you go. Okay. Some weird thing is happening with my lines here. I'm not sure why, but we'll figure that out. And